Government Accountability Institute, GAI, is taking preventative action to ensure that this coming election is free and fair. GAI just published a comprehensive report identifying the top 50 election threats. One of the most pressing concerns are the ease with which non-citizens can illegally vote in something as important as a presidential election. GAI is also drawing attention to the record influx of dark money pouring into this election in an effort to sway the minds of the American people. The dark money is potentially even further made dirty by foreign connections. Get out the vote operations and all advertisements need to be carefully looked at as we have less than 2 weeks to go before the nation chooses the next president. Trust in election officials are down, and it is important to restore trust among Americans. But a judge in Georgia blocked the hand counting of ballots, sending voters into an uproar. Lawfare measures have also raged this year to steer the outcome of the elections. Will this alarm bell be heard by the American people and all who care about free and fair elections? Or will big tech make massive efforts to shut this down? Seamus Bruner is back with us to break down this shocking report. Seamus, what can you tell us, first of all, before we get into the voting rolls? This Georgia judge just blocked the hand counting of ballots on election night because he doesn't want a repeat, he says, of January 6th. What does he mean when he says that?
Well, look, I mean, this is an egregious ruling. I mean, January 6th was mostly peaceful. I mean, the vast majority of January 6th were peaceful protesters. There were some troublemakers at the Capitol, but everyone else there, except for the handful of people who kind of got swept up into the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, there were the people smashing. I'm still not convinced that those were MAGA voters smashing windows and things. But January 6th was a protest. That's what it was. It was a lawful protest in most cases. And so for this judge to be still citing January 6th, the more evidence about January 6th that comes out, by the way, it shows that it was a mostly peaceful protest, that Nancy Pelosi allowed the Capitol to be stormed. She even admitted to this, more or less. Donald Trump tried to provide adequate protection. But for the judge to be citing January 6th as a reason that our elections can't be secure, that we can't have hand-counted ballots on election night is absurd. But it's not just Georgia. It's happening in swing states all across the country. In Michigan and Wisconsin, the left-wing judges are ruling against election integrity. And so it's a huge problem, especially with the voter rolls. I mean, the judges in some places are ruling that you can't check citizenship. I mean, look at Arizona. 218,000 voters this election will not have shown proof of citizenship. That is just ridiculous that we would have non-citizens voting in our elections. And you see this in a bunch of other states. The left likes to say that it's exceedingly rare, it's vanishingly rare, it never happens that non-citizens vote. That's not true. In Texas, in North Carolina, and in a bunch of other states, they have been auditing their voter rolls. Over 4 million ineligible voters from just 10 states, and this is all in the report, have been removed from the voter rolls. This includes nearly 35,000. That's almost an election swinging. I mean, in some states, that's more than election swinging numbers. More than 35,000 non-citizens are on the voter rolls. Hundreds of thousands of dead people are on the voter rolls in Texas. And in Wisconsin, another huge major swing state, a judge just ruled that you don't have to show voter ID. 150,000 voters won't have to show a voter ID. That means I could show up in Wisconsin and vote under someone else's name, and they would have no way of knowing that I was not that person.